Stars are everywhere. They're invited to explain public health campaigns.
You're here to tell us the pale is good.
Pale is great. Yes.
It's a good message to all viewers.
They're patiently asked their expert opinion on Gordon Brown's chances.
I think he's dogged enough to try and stick it out. But if the momentum goes, it keeps on going the way that it does, he won't be able to survive.
They even queue up to flog any old tut on the Andrew Marr show.
From one Australian megastar to another, Rolf Harris. I'm going to be talking to Rolf in a moment, but first a quick blast from Christmas in the Sun, his latest musical foray.
Christmas in the sun, come on down and join us for a Christmas in the sun.
Yeah, it's making current affairs look a bit shit, really.
Celebrities, of course, get an easy time of it compared to politicians.
Put Sky's well-respected Adam Bolton opposite a politician and he won't shy away from asking difficult questions.
But stick a star in his island and tickety-tock, it's bum kiss o'clock.
Now Sir Anthony Hopkins is showcasing his own paintings at exhibitions in London and Edinburgh.
Yes, it seems Sir Hannibal's done some paintings so marvellous even noted critic Adam Bolton struggles to describe them.
There's sort of two sorts, it seems. They're realist landscapes and then they're the more sort of fantastical dreamscapes.
To be fair, that is probably the 9th best painting of a purple elephant I've seen since primary school.
I just follow my instinct. I paint in a childlike way. I don't have a sense of... I have no training in perspective.
No.
So I just paint as a...
Rich man with time on his hands?
Did it help you playing Picasso? Has that helped you as an artist?
Yes.
Jesus, Bolton's being so deferential, it's as though he's mistaken him for some kind of ancient forest god.
Sir Anthony Hopkins, Wolfman, Thor and artist. A lot to look forward to. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
5 News is the logical extension of all this starry ring-licking. Often it's not like a news bulletin at all, more like watching a boy reading Heat magazine off on auto cue.
For our latest celebrity report, Louise Redknapp explains how she's hoping to give glamour a good name.
Hi, I'm here in Selfridges in London where we're preparing for the really great garage sale.
The sole benefit to using Louise Redknapp as a celebrity reporter is it helpfully marks the ultimate low.
I mean, really, nothing could possibly be worse than that.
Tiger 4! Okay, if you like, Jed, but you're going to love tonight's show.
Yes, you are, because we're going to be hearing from the boys later on, plus all the stars from the National TV Awards. We'll be asking if you would choose laughs over looks, and we'll also be hearing from Simon Cowell.
We're live from Studio 5!
I take that back.
Yes, Live from Studio 5 is the first news programme broadcast directly from hell. Hosted by a large-breasted duckling, an incoherent footballer and a 200-foot wall of searing white tooth enamel, it's a nightmarish parade of one lightweight item after another, like being force-fed marshmallows by a bastard in a glittery hat.
Incredibly, this actually counts towards 5's news output, the stuff it has to broadcast as part of its public service remit.
Still, they do cover the issues. Issues like, are hairy legs horrid?
Why on earth would you not shave your legs? I just don't get it.
Is Ricky Gervais funny or hilarious? And should you give money to the homeless or just f*** them off?
Well, give them a sandwich, give them the time of day, they're human beings, but don't give them cash on the streets.
Sometimes there's so much heated debate you can't even hear it.
Generation,
there's a weird double standard that goes on.
Wells, Wisdom.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember getting
that is curtain
it is too much, and also there's a strange double standard that goes on.
Largely, though, Studio 5 covers celebrities, and it really cares about their well-being.
David Hasselhoff, what can we say? The Hoff, what's going on with this fella? Reports from America say he's been taken to hospital because of his drinking again even. Now, apparently 17-year-old daughter Hayley had to raise the alarm when she found him totally sozzled at his home in LA. It's the second time she's had to do this. Why does he keep doing this to his daughter? He's got to get a grip on him, surely.
Still, if you want entertainment news, where better to look than an entertainment news show?
But surely if you're an entertainment news show, you should at least attempt to deal with the news aspect and not just act like an unconditional ass-kissing machine.
For instance, those of you with long memories will recall last week we told you the story of Dappy from the group N-Dubs, who'd made headlines by sending threatening texts, even though he was helping front a government anti-bullying campaign at the time. He and his group were dropped from the campaign, which was quite big news in the tabloids, although Live from Studio 5 didn't seem that interested.
No idea why. Coincidentally, the following week, the band were guests on the show.
They were interviewed live on air and quizzed for 5.5 minutes with not one mention of the text story.
Instead, they were asked which Brit nomination they wished they'd got.
Best group, best
breakthrough. Best breakthrough as well.
There were other equally probing questions.
Yeah. So what have you all been up to? Enjoying yourselves?
Holidays for
Lovely.
me and Dappy.
Holidays.
Sent any texts recently? Still, it's not surprising they were treated like kings, because when you do ask difficult questions, as ITN did last year when they questioned the band's suitability to front the anti-bullying campaign in the first place, you quickly get your knuckles rapped.
By putting yourselves up as a champion for children...
We don't put ourselves up as that.
You have by taking this role as ambassadors.
But bullying, for me...
From what I'm seeing right now, you're putting my band in a very, very uncomfortable position by attacking them.
I don't feel I'm asking them how they can justify selling lyrics to children, which are so explicit. That's a perfectly justifiable...
We're not here about that. We're here about an anti-bullying campaign.
It may not seem important, but as celebs get increasingly involved with issues, they're also increasingly able to get away with the sort of thing a spokesperson never would. The relationship between stars and the press is a one-way street. Put us on your show, plug us silly, but don't act like journalists or we won't come back, and neither will any of our other showbiz friends. But perhaps the worst thing about all this celeb slurping is it's boring. I mean, who really gives a toss about Sunita's gold boots? It can sometimes be entertaining when the news gets a famous person on, especially if they genuinely grill them. Just ask the Newsnight viewers who watched in astonishment as Mr. Issues himself, Stingford Stingington Sting, wandered unwittingly into the Paxman Thunderdome.
Do you ever feel uncomfortable travelling between your various homes in various continents at enormous carbon cost? Do you ever feel uncomfortable about that?
I think it's an amusing red herring for the media to blame celebrities for the global crisis we're in. But
you're not being blamed for it, you're just being accused of hypocrisy, that's all.
Yeah. Ha! Time for the week in bullshit. Vigilance! And the Home Office wipes away any remaining post-Yuletide cheeriness by changing its terror threat Facebook status to severe. But what exactly does severe mean, Home Secretary?
This means a terrorist attack is highly likely.
Shit.
I have to emphasise the fact it doesn't mean an attack is imminent.
Shit?
All I would say to the public is that they need to be vigilant.
Vigilant, OK, vigilant. What should I be vigilanting towards?
Can you reassure the public that you haven't got anything that is saying an attack is about to happen, some men are on their way right now?
Well, it's very important. The highest level of security alert is critical, and that means an attack is imminent, and we're not at that level.
All right, so we're here, not here. I'll be this scared or vigilant. In the absence of any hard information regarding the threat, Sky contented itself with designing different graphics for the Fearoscope, ranging from pedestrian election night blandness to radarific Robocop HUD-style targeting Wizzo-vision. They do like their threat level indicators on Sky. They've also got an environment f***ometer and a Cameron probability gauge, which recently rose several Bullingdons to 38%. Channel 4 News went one better by plotting the historical ups and downs of the screamometer on a graph. Now, if you're finding the threat thesaurus confusing, don't worry, implementing it's simple. Just calibrate your alertness pistons in line with the on-screen threatometer, so if your watchfulness nodes are currently set to 3, turn them up to 4. Meanwhile, speculation over what had caused the terror hike was rife. The papers dreamed aloud about hijacked planes, Afghan conferences, Osama bin Laden, Irish militants, giant spiders, Skeletor, you name it. Sky highlighted the increasing threat of female suicide bombers, which rather complicate the traditional terror profiling strategy.
Police and security officials tend to spend more time investigating young men of black and Asian origin.
Is it just me, or does that look like an album cover? Anyway, chances are you're still not sure what you're being threatened by or how scared to be of it. To clear things up once and for all, what you need is the supreme clarity of a Channel 4 News interview with a top security expert.
No specific target, no specific group, no specific threat. What are people supposed to make of this?
Well, I think what people can make of it is basically this is a very clear message that they need to be more alert and more vigilant.
So be more alert and more vigilant about nothing specific.
It could well emanate from Pakistan, or it could emanate from somewhere like Somalia, or indeed Yemen. It could come from overseas, or it could be a group within the UK already here in place.
What are the chances of anything coming from Mars? Anyway, in summary, you should now be severely, not substantially, alert. Keep an eye out for something specific or nothing specific, male or female, Arab or Western, imminent or just highly likely from Pakistan, Yemen or down the road. And don't panic, but do be vigilant to this level, not this level, this level. And if you're not sure where that is, look it up on your colour-coded fearometer. And remember, don't get it wrong or the terrorists have won. Well, celebrities on the news are one thing, but what happens when the news makes its own celebrities? Here's American miserablist and drunk Doug Stanhope with his view.
I'm Doug Stanhope, and that's why I drink. Some people try to be celebrities. Other people have celebrity thrust upon them by the news. Charla Nash had it thrust upon her in the form of a 200-pound chimpanzee named Travis that ate her entire face. The news get a hold of the 911 call, which is absolutely horrific and terrifying, and out of some sense of moral obligation, a public need, they played the 911 call relentlessly.
Please hurry up! He's killing my girlfriend! He ripped her face off!
He ripped her face off? Which is the responsibility of the news to let the public know. The public needs to be aware of impending dangers. A hurricane is coming your way. There's a blizzard. A gunman's on the loose. Or perhaps brazen primates are eating the faces of suburban housewives. So they played the 911 call over and over across the country until Charla Nash was an American celebrity.
She even has her own security guard to prevent the tabloids from taking photos.
Kyle Maynard was a kid who was a high school wrestler. He made the news because he happened to be born without arms or legs. Again, there's a very pressing need for the news to make us aware of these problems. Point is, he gets on the news, and now he's a celebrity who's doing mixed martial arts. Not very well. He's had one fight, and he was pummeled, as you'd expect. How can you ever look good punching this kid in the head repeatedly in front of an audience? They package these stories as human interest stories. It used to be, if you were born without limbs or a primate ate your face, whatever, you could go and make a decent living still on the freak show circuit, a carnival sideshow attraction. Step right up. Look at the boy with no arms and no legs, the human manhole cover. He's gonna wrestle Travis, the 200-pound face-eating chimpanzee. Step right up. Prepare to be horrified. It's a horrifying, terrifying event. Step right up. 2 bits. At some point, they decided that was insensitive. So now they put him on the talk shows. Oprah Winfrey, who is the P.T. Barnum of the new millennium. And instead of a freak show, they call it an inspirational story. Next on Oprah, the woman whose face was eaten by a monkey. She's exploited exactly the same way, only now Oprah gets the 2 bits that she should have gotten paid. And they play harpsichord music coming in and out of the piece. And they say it's a triumph of the human spirit. And Oprah lifts the woman's veil to show a poorly reconstructed face and dabs the woman's tears where her eyeballs used to be. That's not inspirational. What is that going to inspire me to do? Oh shit, if she can get her face eaten by a monkey and still go on Oprah, shit, I should get up and sweep off that patio. I'm inspired. No, that just makes me scared to leave the house.
Technology! And a billion geek eyes turn to San Francisco as Apple Emperor Steve Jobs unveils his latest creation in exciting scenes on Sky News.
Nice to see he dressed up for the occasion.
In punishingly dull coverage, Jobbo explained the new gizmo would be great at playing videos and music and blah blah blah.
If there's going to be a third category of device, it's going to have to be better at these kinds of tasks than a laptop or a smartphone. Otherwise, it has no reason for being.
Well, yeah, unless it's a big rectangle with an Apple logo on the back, then its reason for being is to milk money from every ponce in the world.
Some people have thought that that's a netbook.
The fools.
Problem is, netbooks aren't better at anything.
Oh, yes, it's funny because it's true.
Eventually, Jobbo revealed what we'd all been waiting for.
That's what it looks like.
Basically, it's an iPhone with increased size and weight and greater futility.
But it's not just an illuminated oblong you can read Wikipedia on. The iPad also functions as a content delivery platform, an electronic burqa, a twat indicator, a nose-breaking machine, a handheld air conditioner, a chopping board and a threat level indicator.
Essentially, owning an iPad will be like having the whole world in the palm of your hand. Well, both hands, until you put it down to answer your iPhone, which is basically the same but smaller.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Go away.
Coming up next tonight here on BBC4, we've got the story of children's play with a double bill of hop, skip and jump.